What's going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today, I want to be discussing what the New York Jets' most likely scenario is for the quarterback spot in 2025. According to reports from yesterday, the New York Jets will be moving on from Aaron Rodgers for the 2025 season. And you can feel any way you like about it. You could be happy with the Jets' decision to move on from Aaron Rodgers, or you could be pissed off about the Jets moving on from Aaron Rodgers. No matter how you feel, it's not about that. This video is not about that. You can vent your frustrations or praise the Jets for doing it all you want. Now's the time to look at what is the most likely scenario, for better or for worse, and that's what I want to talk through today, as in my opinion, the most likely, not the best, but the most likely option for the New York Jets in 2025 is Tyrod Taylor. Is it sexy? Absolutely not. No one is going to go over the moon excited about Tyrod Taylor. But again, that is the reality of the situation that the Jets are in with him on the roster for the 2025 season. In 2025, he will count for $6.8 million on the cap. He was brought in last year to be the backup to Aaron Rodgers, and in 2025, with Rodgers gone, he will most likely be the front runner for that position. Can the Jets add more to the position? Yeah, they should. No matter how you feel about Tyrod, if you love him or hate him, you absolutely need to add more to the quarterback room. But let's just talk through Tyrod in a vacuum here. As a starter in his career, 500, 28, and 1, right down the middle. He doesn't turn the ball over. If you're looking for some positives with Tyrod Taylor, his interception rate is just 1.7% for his career, which is the fourth lowest in NFL history. He still has a gorgeous deep ball. He was showing that off for the New York Jets during training camp in the preseason, and he's not afraid to let it rip down the field. I think something you could potentially see with Tyrod Taylor is a more vertical passing offense for the New York Jets. Am I saying Tyrod Taylor in his career is better than Aaron Rodgers in his career? Absolutely not. I'm looking at 2024 Aaron Rodgers, and I'm looking at what Tyrod Taylor could be in 2025. And in what we saw last year, the Jets ran a very lateral offense. It wasn't a whole lot attacking down the field. It was short to intermediate stuff, a lot of timing routes, things like that. Tyrod is 35, will be 36 at the beginning of the season. He is still a mobile quarterback at his age, and I view him as a high floor, low ceiling quarterback, which I think fits the bridge description. I think when you're looking for someone who can hold down the fort in a short-term scenario, someone that's not overly flashy, but can just come in and compete, kind of like what Jacoby Brissett was a couple years ago for the Cleveland Browns when Deshaun Watson was hurt. Think of something along those lines. Now, he didn't start any games for the New York Jets in 2024. We'll talk about his numbers at the end of this stats segment, but he did start some games for the New York Giants. He started 5, got knocked out of the Jets game that he started with broken ribs. So I wanted to look at the numbers of the 4 games that he played, that he started and finished for the New York Giants in 2023. And his numbers were pretty decent. He went in the 4 games. In the first one, 23 of 32, 71.9 completion percentage, 297 yards, a touchdown, a pick, 9.3 yards per attempt, and a 98.0 rating. Next game, 27 of 41, 65.9 completion percentage, 319 yards, a touchdown, a pick, an 87.3 rating, 7.8 yards per attempt. Game number 3, 18 of 29, 62.1 completion, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a 9.6 yards per attempt, 116.9 rating, and then finally 24 to 36, 66.7%, 200 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, 5.6 yards per attempt, and an 80.8 rating. So nothing, again, overly flashy, just okay quarterback numbers. Now, in the brief appearance he had with the New York Jets this past season, albeit in garbage time, that has to be taken into consideration. The opponents that he was going up against at the time, in the Buffalo game where Aaron Rodgers got pulled, Tyrod was going up against like third stringers at that point, so you take these numbers with a grain of salt, but this is what he did on 22 passing attempts. He completed 17 for a 77.3 completion, 119 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 5.4 yards per attempt, and a 96.6 rating. The biggest concern with Tyrod Taylor as a quarterback for the New York Jets in 2025 is the injuries. And it is a valid concern, and it's not something that you can gloss over. It's why the New York Jets will need to add another quarterback. I would expect a veteran to be added, but let's say either a veteran or through the NFL draft. It cannot just be Tyrod Taylor and Jordan Travis in 2025. I want to make that abundantly clear. The New York Jets cannot go into the 2025 season with only those two guys as the quarterbacks. But looking at the injuries that he sustained, he had the rib injury against the Jets in 2023. In 2021, it was a hamstring injury that cost him some time. And in 2020, he was initially the starting quarterback for the Chargers, but got a punctured lung pregame from a doctor. Very weird scenario. A little bit of a freak injury there in 2020. And on top of that, a hamstring and then a rib injury in 2023. I want to reiterate that the injuries are absolutely a concern for him at 36 years old. The only slight pushback that I'll give you is, did Aaron Rodgers also not get hurt the last 3 years, though? Now, he played through injury in 2022 and in 2024. Specifically this past year, played through multiple injuries. He had 2 knee injuries, both the left and right knee. Hamstring was bothering him throughout the year, and for about a month, didn't look right. He got hurt in the 4th game of the year against the Denver Broncos, and didn't really fully get healthy till the end of the season, the last 4 or 5 games or so. The Achilles injury in 2023 kept him out the entirety of the season, and Aaron Rodgers played through a broken thumb through most of 2022. So yes, to Rodgers' credit, and you do have to give him credit for this, he was able to complete pretty much the entirety of the season in 22 and 2024, even though he did sustain injuries. But he's 41 years old. He'll turn 42 in December of 2025. And the chances of him repeating a 17-game healthy season at 42 is probably just as slim as Tyrod Taylor completing a full season. So I look at that as a wash, even though many are holding Tyrod Taylor's injuries against him. I think you also have to hold it just about as equally as Aaron Rodgers going into the 2025 season. So what does that mean for additional options? I don't think the Jets will be taking a quarterback at 7. Maybe they add one in the mid rounds, some names to watch at that part. Maybe Jackson Dart, if he doesn't creep up into the 1st round, Jalen Milroe, Will Howard out of Ohio State, Kyle McCord out of Syracuse, guys like that in the middle rounds, or the veteran route with names like Justin Fields or Jameis Winston. I would put those two as the most likely options for the New York Jets in the veteran market. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't really move me, and that's another guy who's had some injury concerns. Kirk Cousins, I don't think looked very good in 2024. I don't think the Jets go down the Sam Darnold route. I just don't anticipate a world where he wants to come back in 2025. And there's some other options, but I just think, looking at most likely, Tyrod is probably most likely to start with other names like Jameis Winston or maybe Justin Fields too. Again, you could feel however you like on the Aaron Rodgers situation with him likely not back, but that is your look at what Tyrod Taylor is in going into 2025. I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about Tyrod Taylor going into the upcoming season for the New York Jets? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.